to the 2022 Lesbian to Tech San Francisco Summit. I'm excited. I know you're excited.
Yes.
Let's get this shit started.
Yes.
Great. Our first speaker is a fantastic person. They are a computer engineer. I cannot wait to hear their talk. Sampson-Blackwell, get up here.
So happy to be here. This is my first Lesbian to Tech in person. And today I will be talking about how to build your personal brand as a tech. So I think they'll have the slides around for you guys to be able to look at around the walls. You can't see. Is the mic working?
Up all the way. Now.
Hello, testing.
There you go.
How's everybody doing today? Here in tech or what? Yeah. Perfect. I'm just getting here. I've been in tech now for about a year, about 4 months. So, and I'm from the Bay Area, so. Here we go. We're getting started. So my name, like I said, is Sydney Sampson. You can follow me on LinkedIn and on Twitter at Sydney_Sampson. They're still setting up slides here. First talk of the morning. Bear with us, people. Bear with us. Good to go? All right, perfect. So like I said, I am a software engineer and an entrepreneur who focuses on helping young folks build their own brands and create businesses. So my favorite quote by Maya Angelou is that nobody can make it out here alone. And that quote has stood out to me ever since I first started breaking into tech, because I realized that you need a team and you need a village. Next slide, please. So today I will go through every step that you need to do to build your own personal brand. I will walk you through from beginning to end, and hopefully by the end of this talk, you'll be able to go find some young folks or even start your own brand to level up in technology or whatever you're doing in your career. Woo! So, we're going to start off by just talking to you guys about what is a personal brand. And then next from there, I will talk to you how I built my personal brand, the value that a personal brand has to your career, what tools you need to succeed, what's your audience, how to market yourself, and then the last step is how to put that all together and build your brand. Next slide, please. So what is a personal brand? Your personal brand defines you. You want people to know who you are when you walk in the room, and you want your name to speak for itself when you're not in the room. That's your personal brand. So my personal brand, like I said, I'm a software engineer and an entrepreneur. So me building my brand as an entrepreneur is what helped me break into tech. So when I got here, I didn't really have a resume that had job experience, right? But I can speak for myself because I had a brand that was out there in the world that everybody can go on social media, look me up on Twitter, look me up on LinkedIn. So I had street cred in the tech industry without even having my first job. Next slide, please. So the very first thing that I did to build my personal brand was the discovery phase, right? So in the discovery phase, you're trying to figure out, what do you need to do? What do you like to do, right? How are you going to serve the people? What are you going to market yourself as to be able to stand out? Once you discover those things and figure out who you want to be and what you want to stand for, the next thing is the planning phase. So now you go into actually looking into, okay, if I'm going to, build websites for people, or if I'm going to, be a blogger, or if I'm going to help people with their resumes, whatever it is, I need to put planning and execution steps from beginning to end. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to be a software engineer and never actually wrote down a plan or had any execution steps. So the first one is the discovery phase, figuring out what you want to do. The next step is the planning phase, actually executing and putting the work in, right? And then that final step is the building phase. So once you actually then discovered and figured out what you want to do, you then put in the planning and figured out how you can do it, who you needed to talk to, who you need to sit in front of, what things that you need to make this happen. Now you can actually put it all together and build it. Next slide, please. So the very first brand that I built in the year of 2020 was called QueenWorks. So as I mentioned, I was a boot camp grad. So while I was going through school, I needed something to make me stand out in the industry. I needed people to take me seriously and not say, hey, this person doesn't have any experience, we don't want to hire her. But guess what? I had experience. I started my own brand, I built my own website, I contacted my own vendors, I started printing clothes for folks, and this right here is how I got my first job in technology. Next slide, please. So now in 2022, I have rebranded QueenWorks, and now since I'm finally in tech, I chose to remarket my audience. So when I was getting into tech, my audience were people who looked like me, and people who came from where I came from that wanted to try to break into tech, right? It's easy to sit amongst the folks when you're in that level, right? Now that I'm here, I'm like, okay, who do I talk to now? So now that I'm here, I was like, okay, I can go backwards now and I can take a look at my brand, figure out what worked and what didn't work. And now I said, okay, I want to take it to the next level. I'm here in tech, so I want to start printing clothes and designing clothes for these tech companies, right? We're here at a tech conference right now. I'm sure, Lesbian Tech has merch here. So I was like, okay, every tech company that I come in front of, every time I go to a conference, I'm passing out business cards. Hey, let me build t-shirts for your company. Let me build a website for you guys for free, right? So people know who I am and they know what I stand for in the industry. Next slide, please. All right, you can go to the next one. Next slide. All right, so the value of creating your personal brand, comes with two parts. The most important is having a vision and also having a mission. So when you're creating your vision, a lot of people are not going to believe in you. Some people may not think that you can do it. Everybody won't see what you can do. But if you have tunnel vision, there's no way you can be stopped. And then when it comes to your mission, when you're building your mission, it's how you are going to get there, who is going to help you get there, right? And who helped me get here was my team. You see a couple of my team members here today. Next slide, please. So your toolbox. This is the thing that you will take everywhere you go in the world, to every company, every conversation. You need a toolbox. And without this toolbox, there's no way that you can be successful. So in my toolbox, what I have taken everywhere that I have went is dedication, tunnel vision, as I mentioned before. You need a team and you need sacrifice. So when you have dedication, it's like you're doing everything that you can in your book, whatever it takes to get there to make it happen. When you have tunnel vision, your eyes are like this. You have your blinders on. You're not looking to the person next to you. You're not looking at the person behind you or the person who came before you. You're just looking at, I know what I need to do to get my brand out there and get people to know who I am. Next slide, please. So, finding your niche. As I said, me personally, my niche was I wanted to be a software engineer, so I needed to get in the industry. I needed to build websites. I needed to show that I have projects on my GitHub. I needed to show that, I can do more than just build, right? I'm artistic. I can print clothes. I can talk to people. I can, build open source projects. Like, there's so many things that I can do that everybody online at my company and everywhere I go, they know what I stand for and they know what I do. So finding your niche is very important. You need to separate what you're good at, what things can you do without making it feel like it's work, right? You want to just wake up and like, okay, I want to go do this today. I'm not stressed about it. You woke up, you drink your coffee, and you're just doing it. Like, that's the stuff that feels good in life. Next slide, please. So the last part is who's your audience. So you need to know who you're talking to. If you don't know who you're talking to, that message is not getting delivered. So the number one part of finding your audience is doing your research. Figuring out, who these people are, who likes these things, right? Like, how are you going to build something if you have no audience for it? When I started making t-shirts, I had an audience. It was a bunch of entrepreneurs, during the pandemic that wanted to start businesses. So it served it perfect, I fitted right in that area at that time. And once I got into tech, my audience changed because I'm here. So now I need to learn how to speak to other tech enthusiasts, all my coworkers, all the other, CEOs and big people that I want to be in front of. Next slide, please. So, how to market yourself. social media is the #1 tool, to our success right now. Like, I know people that get jobs just from posting on social media that they're looking for a job, right? So for me, when it came to, me telling my story, every day I would post like, hey, I'm from Oakland, California. I come from a background, being highly analytical with math. I come from an artistic background. So when I came to social media, I had to find a way to bring all of those things together to market myself so people could take me seriously. Next slide, please. You go to the next one. Almost there. Hope you guys are feeling motivated to start a personal brand really soon. All right, so today we have went through all of the steps from the beginning to the end of how to create your brand. So I walked you guys through the discovery phase, figuring out who you are, how you want to tell your message, who your audience is, who you're talking to. And then that next phase is the actual planning phase, when you get down and dirty and you actually start figuring out these, different applications that you want to bring into your life, the different automations that you need, the different people that you need to be able to have recurring meetings with, to be able to, make these things happen. And then that last step is the building phase, where you take everything that you discovered, you took everything that you planned, all your workbook, all your notes, and you put it to work. Next slide, please. All right, so now you have up there all of my contact information for you guys to stay in touch with me. As I mentioned, I'm all about building brands. So if there's anybody else in this room that is looking to build their personal brand, please reach out to me on LinkedIn and on Twitter, and we can have a conversation. Thank you guys. Woo!